The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Tokupitch.
Yes, episode
3.
probably 3. So, this time, coming off of my Loopad adaptation, I'm doing Build.
I'm so excited for this.
Because this is going to be a
Wait, is this a Tokupitch or is this a how we would fix?
It's a Tokupitch. I'm really going to lean into my side of the thing instead of the way that I would end up fixing Build, which we would still be here for.
That's a later video.
Yeah.
We should absolutely do that video.
We will.
Okay.
Alright. So, I want to lean more into... It's still going to be called Kamen Rider. I feel like that's just an easier name.
Yeah, we went over this last time, but yeah.
So I want to lean more into the military aspect of it that they sort of did in Build. So basically, Sento's counterpart wouldn't be like a military scientist. It was still in fitting and you know how they end up getting all the things. I'm removing quite a bit because I feel like that would end up making things work a little bit better. I want to make Cross Zeto more of a regular soldier who was actually, you know, a friend of his prior to all of this happening.
As opposed to a fugitive?
Yeah, as opposed to a fugitive.
That makes sense.
It would end up, you know, they would already end up having
a bond.
A bond already, have a rapport with each other. It would make things a little bit more fluid from the very beginning.
Okay.
So we don't have to go through the whole introduction arc. Now, the reason why he is, Sento, is the main writer of Build is, well, he created the thing. Mm-hmm. So he tested it, but unfortunately the thing is bio-locked. So it wouldn't work on anybody else. So this actually goes further on later on, something I'm just going to get rid of. The whole dad subplot from the original one, gone. We're not doing another Build. That was stupid. Greece, so...
Does he get a power-up?
Greece... So this is still going to end up being two nations fighting against each other.
And Greece will be from the other nation.
Greece will end up being from the other nation.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue will actually end up being the son of the president of the United... I'm not going to say the United States, but...
Wherever
this is based in. It would end up making some things later on that I really want to do flow a little bit better for how wrong this show will end up getting. Because there's a whole bunch of military secrets that are happening in the background. So one of the generals, I'm going to keep him as Night Rogue. Well, Rogue in this case.
Okay.
The original Night Rogue, that suit. So
the bat suit with this.
Yeah, the bat suit with the steam coming out of it. Okay. That suit will end up being around a lot longer.
Good.
I'm getting rid of the Pandora's box altogether. That not needed. That whole subplot was stupid. So I'm getting rid of that. So it will be much more Night Rogue and evil. Was it evil? This is the problem with having a whole bunch of various bad guys in the show proper. Bloodstalk. We're going to make him a general from the other side. They're actually doing war crimes together. Trying to take over whatever both countries. And I'm not going to say merge them into one because inevitably they're going to turn their backs on each other.
But that would be the cover story that they tell each other. Make them one and be ruled together.
Yeah.
And then in the background, they'll be plotting against each other.
Yep. So, my whole thing is...
This is already better than Build.
With those monsters that they were fighting at the beginning of the show before they really started to become Rider against Rider and stuff like that, we're going to always end up having a drone or something in the background that after Build or Cross said ends up fighting the monster and blowing it up. It goes and picks up a piece of the monster and leaves. They're not people anymore. Or rather, you know what? I'm actually going to keep them as people. These are the people that Night Rogue and Bloodstock were experimenting on. Just like they were in the original. Because, you know, before the show got bad. And they're picking up pieces of the various blown-up monsters to actually get a bead on the powers of Build and Crossset. But it's not Night Rogue or Bloodstalk who are doing this. It's a third party that's doing this whole thing. This third party is actually the president.
Dun, dun, dun.
The faction that is working under him. Because I want the president, near the end of the story, to become evil himself. We're getting rid of the alien subplot.
Please and thank you.
That's gone. That's awful. I want that gone forever. But a lot of the story beats would end up being the same. Grease, when they first meet, it'll be sort of on the battlefield, so we can sort of get rid of the tournament arc that they had in this. So when they first meet us on the battlefield, they find out that they have a lot more in common. Sento's counterpart is constantly making the new bottles and the new forms to really try to help out. But his conscience really starts to eat away at him more and more, because it's just like, people are dying. Mm-hmm. People are getting caught in the crossfire. We don't want that to happen anymore, but it's just like, if I don't, we lose, and who knows how much death and destruction that would cause for the country that I'm fighting for. And I like the fact that Cross would end up being there sort of as his foil initially. They would actually end up fighting against each other probably a couple of times as the story goes along. We're getting rid of the jelly version of Cross. Mm-hmm. We're just going to make that just a straight up upgrade from the original one before we get to the magma form near the end of the story.
Okay.
So, making it so that whole middle form thing is just, he used it 2 episodes after he got the original one.
Yeah.
And it sort of did nothing for the suit itself. It was just bad, and it was boring. Now, about halfway through the show, and they actually start fighting Night Rogue and Bloodstalk more on the field themselves, that's when Rogue would come in and beat both of them initially before leaving to just say, this is just an experiment of the suit proper, but he ends up killing Bloodstalk immediately. And that's when the whole thing starts trickling down that the 2 generals were working together, which makes Night Rogue basically on the run. So he's there throughout the rest of the story, but not as much of a presence. But they do end up using some of the things that he left behind to make Mad Rogue. Now, I make Mad Rogue a thing here because I want him to be a little bit more present.
And more purposeful?
Yeah, he comes in 2 episodes.
And it's not a separate character?
Yes. Well, no, it's still a separate character. It's just somebody else. But it's somebody who's been there, maybe like a secretary or something that's been working with the president the entire time.
Okay.
Because Mad Rogue will be working directly for him. Then a couple of episodes after that, they end up introducing the concept of evil. And this is when things start to really spiral out of control with Evil being found out by his son, Rogue, that he's been working to just try to take over both countries, but do it in probably the most heinous way possible. Still having those experiments and everything happening in the background. And that's just ethically not working for Rogue's character. Mm-hmm. Which makes him go over to the side of Build, Crossed, Grease, who's now working with them, and we're not doing the whole super personality shift thing that happened with the original Rogue and Build. Because why? It's just really, really bad. Now, we do end up having Genius still at its form, but of course we're going to actually have it use the other abilities and all the bottles that are on it because he only used Diamond. And I'm just like, we have so many other things that you could do with this instead of just using, we're going to use this one defensive ability. A total of uno. No, we're not going to have it work like that. Now, a little before this, Cross does finally get his Magma upgrade after Build ends up making it for him because they're back to being friends after having that clash of ideology. Mm-hmm. And that's how he ends up getting his final form. Grease is a little underpowered, so he gives him the Blizzard form a little bit earlier, but he doesn't have to die at the end of it. Yes, that was cool in the original one, but he only used it once and that was it. So we're going to have that suit show up a little bit more and really have Cross and Grease bond the most because they were both soldiers. It makes the most sense. And Build and Rogue end up, having this whole thing. It's just, I'm the scientist who made a lot of these things and who inadvertently helped your father do what he is doing now, going out there and actually just throwing people into black holes. I mean, bruh. He killed a lot of people. That was so cool when he did it. But unfortunately, he just didn't do it to anybody else. Now, on the plus side, with Genius, it actually boosts his mind's computing abilities. Mm-hmm. So when they end up having their final battle, Build, Genius, and Evil, you don't have to do the whole combine the worlds together. It's more of Build has to figure out a way to get half of Evil onto that side of the black hole and keep one half over here and then collapse the black hole on top of them. Okay. killing him instantly. But it ends up, solidifying the whole thing. And then Rogue doesn't go to jail, but he basically is just like, I can't take over my father's place. We end up... They'll end up being like sort of a vice president character who's a lot more scrupulous and who's working behind the president's back after he finds out everything else that's going on. So he starts working with the writers to really bring everything back together, and that's how they figure out what to do about the guy who's making the black holes and just killing everybody, trying to end this war. To get his own
I feel
power.
like there's a lot of influence from how 01's been going with replace factions with corporations.
Sort of, but this is...
I'm not saying you're copying. I'm just saying there's some influence.
This is more political.
Absolutely. I'm also
And
going to
just-
say this is definitely not a kid's show. That you're
No,
pitching.
this is Netflix. Let's get Netflix.
Adult Swim, Netflix, something. Yeah.
Well, not
HBO Max. Ooh.
Yeah, HBO Max or...
You want to Amazon's this. Amazon's.
No, I don't want to Amazon.
I'm talking about in terms of violence as well.
No.
Really?
Because I don't want to do that either. It's just, I want to keep it much more grounded into the form of, this is how war works. There are usually underground factions and people going behind each other's backs and people, inevitably actually getting killed on screen.
And staying dead.
Yeah. I sort of actually want to kill one of the writers off, and I want it to be Grease again.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But
Where Grease is sacrificing himself to save Crosshead from something that, when he's fighting a ball.
yeah, that's fine. It's just that no, takesy backsies with a whole new world.
No, we're not doing that. And Mad Rogue will inevitably end up getting killed in the final battle as well.
Good.
So it's just like, we have Evil over here in Build, and I guess Crosshead is fighting him, and then we have Rogue and Mad Rogue fighting each other. Because they knew each other, obviously, because, that's the president's secretary and his son, but the secretary is the evil one. Yeah. I feel like that would end up making things a little bit more interesting for an adaptation. Keep it in that political military realm and just have it work from there instead of a whole bunch of extraneous aliens happen.
And no aliens.
Yeah, like I said, I removed the entire thing with the Pandora's box. I would like to keep, I can't remember her name, the two women. I want the reporter to be there, but I don't want her to constantly have to, I'm the sleeper agent.
Yeah.
I don't want that to
The
be...
double, triple, quadruple, quintuple agent.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
It's just like, I can't be bothered. So, can't be bothered with
It's
that.
the best purchase you've ever
It
made.
really has, man. It's so good. I love it. But yeah. And I want to keep the other girl around too. But obviously we're not going to do the whole e-girl thing and make Grease, oh my god, I'm in love with you because I remember you from online. No, that was cringy and god-awful. So I'm removing that plotline entirely. Maybe some romance could happen.
But more naturally.
But yeah, a lot more naturally. And then
And not, I worship the ground you walk on.
And then it just ends tragically.
As war does.
Yeah, as war does. I feel like it would end up giving a much more emotional impact
No,
without all the
I
unnecessary...
think that could really work.
Come.
Especially in like an HBO
Okay.
Max setting.
Well, I have a question for you, Marcus.
Yes.
If you'll humor me. Nothing like super serious to do with the plot or anything.
Mhm.
But, so let's say you pitch this show to Netflix and they say, all right, we like it. We're gonna give you a season to start out. Who do you cast as Bill? Like, they've given you a degree of creative control. Who do you cast as Bill? Who do you pick as your showrunner? Who directs your pilot?
That's a great... Actually, before we do that, I want to go back and say one thing because I sort of forgot the whole Mad Rogue character. I wanted him to be captured at the end of it and tried.
Mm-hmm.
That's how his story ends.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
Now, who would be Bill? Oh, we have to do a dream casting thing.
That might need to be a part 2 because he didn't.
I didn't think about this.
That's damn. We need to. That can be a new part of every Tokupitch. From now
Yeah,
on.
who
We'll
do
we
you
can do
cast as like these main 3 parts? Oh, God.
So it's
Who would you pick?
who is your lead, who is your showrunner, and
I'm usually the absolute wrong person to ask this because usually as long as it's anyone talented, I don't care.
For some reason, my mind immediately went to Tom Holland, and I'm saying, like, you're busy.
he is very busy.
He is very busy,
Also,
but
I think he's a little too young looking for the main role.
I feel like it could work.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I need to watch that. Oh god, I can't wait for that new movie. It's to come out with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, that does look good. I want a good actor. That's the main thing.
Maybe not from the MCU.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, but give some work to other people. How about showrunner?
Same people who did the Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
I feel like they could actually do it and insert some comedy where it needs to be.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Season 2 was pretty great.
But the director...
Who directs your pilot?
Why did Jon Favreau just pop out into my head?
Because of Mandalorian and because of the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
And because of the way he seems to have a great grasp
that would work with
on
you.
things.
That would work with the story you've given. Very political and very...
I feel like he would do a good job at it. The actor, though. The actor is the biggest question.
Would you want to go with somebody unknown, or would you want to go with a known name?
I feel like you can do somebody unknown with this. I just need to make sure that they're acting.
Especially with the new IP.
Yeah, with a new IP, I feel like
it wouldn't hurt to go with somebody unknown.
You could have a...
But I think you can make an argument on both sides. A new IP, if you have a familiar name and a face on a new IP, it makes more people likely to watch it.
Especially with the way the industry works, a name does matter because who's going to get it made. I'm thinking about this from a studio's perspective, but
why not Robert Pattinson?
No,
what's wrong with him?
I don't want it to be like so associated.
This is a hypothetical, anything goes.
Oh no, I'm asking him. He immediately said no. I was just wondering why.
Okay.
But no, he doesn't want somebody to be so associated with the superhero genre.
The problem is it's so cross-pollinated. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know who needs to be in this show? And I don't care what role. James McAvoy. He would work wonders for you in that show. I don't care. He could be Cross-Zed. He could be fucking the president. Because we already know he makes a great villain. Or he could be rogue.
He's a great hero, too.
Yeah, he does both. So well.
He doesn't have... I feel like Robert... Tom Holland and this guy... The guy who played Eggsy in Kingsman.
Oh, Taron Egerton.
Yes.
Taron Egerton would be perfect.
There you go.
Oh my god, he's great. Love Taron Egerton.
I was like, yeah. I feel like he'd be a great Cross-Zed, actually.
Either way. But... just something that it... Oh.
And Grease should be Raoul. From iZombie.
Oh, the...
Riz Ahmed?
He's
I'm thinking of somebody else.
He keeps showing up in Achievement Hunter Funhouse. Yeah. The mortician from iZombie. Okay. I can't remember his actor's name. No, absolutely.
I don't know why Riz Ahmed popped into my head, but...
sorry. He would be... He'd be great as a Cross-Zed, too.
I've never watched iZombie.
Or we just cast the guy who played Billy in the Power Rangers movie as Bill.
Oh, yeah, R.J. Cyler.
Yeah. I think he could pull out that role. Especially with the whole science background thing.
Mm.
Yeah. There you go.
And Rogue could be played by the guy who played Zach.
Or...
yeah.
And get the guy who played Jason to play Cross-Zed, because god damn it.
I don't want it to just be a whole Power Rangers thing. I don't want it to... I feel like Rogue should be played by somebody else. I really wanted to be Asian for some reason.
Okay.
That's fine. But I still say get the guy who played Jason.
If you don't mind it being somebody older, maybe somebody like Sung Kang from the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, that could work.
I still say Billy and Jason for that because they had so much good chemistry in Power Rangers.
And the bad guy, you know who the bad guy could be? And for some reason, this keeps... It's not China Fat. It's the guy who played Liu Kang in the original Mortal Kombat movies.
Oh, Robin Show.
Yeah, Robin Show.
It could work.
Okay.
All right, so there we go. That was our Toku pitch for the American version of Kamen Rider Build. Would you still call it Build?
Probably.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think in the comments down below. Give us some ideas of shows you would like to hear pitches for. And follow us on all the things. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.